Hello, this is Zach from Gravel Bike California here to give you a preview of the second edition of this year's LA Tourist Race. Now, if you're unfamiliar, this is a race, but more of an adventure ride hosted out of Let's Ride Cyclery, which features 4 checkpoints where you kind of have to choose your own adventure. This edition is probably one of the shorter ones, but considering the time of year, it looks super difficult. Now for me, I've only participated in parts. I've actually handed out water, but this is the first day I've actually set aside to complete one. A lot of people saw my name on the roster, been asking a lot of questions, so I said, hey, why not just make a video and give my take? So this is the route that I mapped out. Still got a little tweaking to do. You'll see there may be some audibles along the way, but hopefully I can take you through those. So this is the route that I mapped out. It'll run you about 50 miles, but let's break down the specific parts. The ride begins out of Let's Ride Cyclery, which is on Hollywood Way, just north of Magnolia. Porto's is down the street. If you are driving there, you will likely have to park on one of the side streets, probably east or along Chandler Way, but there's plenty in the area. Don't forget you can pick up your packet the day before. Starting off is pretty straightforward. You're going to take Hollywood Way. There's a bike lane mostly on the north side of it, especially by the airport. On the south, not so much. It's a straight shot, easiest way getting in and out. From there, your best choice is to not go over the Verdugos, but swing around them. You're going to hop onto Glen Oaks for a little bit and then take Sunland Boulevard up into the Tujunga neighborhood. Sunland itself has 4 lanes, a lot of heavy traffic there that goes pretty fast, probably in the middle of the daytime. In the morning, not so much, but please keep your head on a swivel because people really drive fast on that road. From here, you make it right in the heart of Tujunga. You merge onto Foothill Boulevard, which cuts through the whole area. As you can see, there's a little bend here. You do have a choice where you could just continue straight. It might be a little bit better around that bend to go down and make a left turn at the next light instead of cars that actually come and curve in. It's your choice, but either way, you'll be hitting a big part of the residential before you finally hit dirt. From here, you may be hitting your biggest effort of the day, and that's in Haines Canyon. The climb to the checkpoint is about 3.5 miles, and it'll run you almost 10%. Not steady. It is a fire road, but the conditions are always kind of a little choppy depending where in there. I really hope you have a lot of gears, get yourself way through. If you're doing this on a road bike, don't bring a frame bag because you're going to be carrying it a lot. Now, you'll see on maps about halfway up you have a choice, and there's actually a trail called Old Mount Lukens that'll take you, you'll eventually hit. It is single track, is steeper, probably not the main choice. The other thing is you can see is it runs mostly on the north side, and that is where you'll probably find snow. Looking out my window right now, I can actually see snow on the top of Lukens at probably the lowest sustained level I've seen in a real long time. Now we're supposed to get rain on Friday night, which may bring snow. Doesn't sound like it's cold enough to really bring a good amount, but still, that will be a factor. As you'll see, you'll have to kind of backtrack a little bit to get to the checkpoint number 1. This is a lot of work to get here already. As you see, you'll go back here on Old Mount Lukens Road. The checkpoint itself, I'm pretty sure will be evident by the time you get there. There is a VW bug that is blue. It shows up on all the maps. I really hope it's in there because I don't want to do more searching. Another thing you'll notice here on the map is how it is on the north face over here. This is also the highest point, about 4,000 feet. So I'm predicting there will be snow. Please bring the right type of footwear, clothing. It is supposed to be fairly warm that day, but at the same time, when you reach these elevations, especially these pockets on the north side, it's going to get cold. If you don't have covers for your feet, please go out and get some. Also, I've had experience when you are wearing them that the front comes up, especially when they get wet. So my advice is either hockey tape if you're a hockey player, or go to the post office and get some shipping wrapping tape just to get the toes so they'll stay on. On the way down, well, it's pretty much the way you came back up. And from here, you go on the Rim of the Valley Trail. And if you were at our Haines Canyon Send It last year, we did a good part of it. And actually the ET house is right by this checkpoint. As you can see, it's not too far off. So you'll have to do a little hiking down there. Maybe someone will watch your bike, but you can't come up through the neighborhood. I believe that part is gated if you're trying to sneak around. So you'll do a little bit of hiking, go back to the Rim of the Valley Trail, and then proceed on. Now, this is the route that I've chosen here, but there are options. First of all, you are going to add a little mileage here if you want water. Here at the Tujunga Little League Park, it's about the halfway point. So a great place to fill up where there's reliable water. It'll probably add about a half mile to your ride, maybe a mile. We're choosing to cut off right before the Graveyard Truck Trail, which you can see kind of whisks around the mountain here and then comes out onto Big Tujunga. Going through the neighborhood gives you a little bit more pavement. It cuts about a half mile out. The other way is a lot more fun, but at the same time, if it's raining before and I haven't been on this trail for over a month, so I don't know how it'll be treating yourself. So I say go take the pavement, see how it goes, avoid any type of trauma. From here, you're going to go up Big Tujunga Canyon, and currently right now it's kind of closed a little bit further if you decide to continue on, so you won't get lost. But from here, you're going to be doing the Gold Creek climb. This is about 4.5 miles. It averages almost 9%. I don't think it's as bad as the numbers. There's a lot of switchbacks, really pretty. If you were on our Send It last month, we featured going in the downhill direction. There are a few ruts, a few sandy spots, but I really think it's not going to be as hard as some of the other challenges along the way. From here, you hit another high point here at Gold Creek Saddle. The cistern right in front of you will be pretty obvious. I'm hoping that maybe the book where you have to rip the page out will be underneath because it'll be wet, and hopefully that'll provide some protection. But from here, you get a little break before, wow, only one more checkpoint. If you made it this far, congratulations. Now you have mostly about a 2-mile descent until you reach Gold Canyon Saddle, another one. And this is where things get kind of tricky. Now, the Yerba Buena truck trail continues on all the way to the other side. And let me tell you a little bit about what I know. Last year I did it, and it is a little washed out on the south side, very washed out on the north side. The question you have to make yourself is it worth it to go all the way back down into Tujunga and then all the way up to fight some of that washed outness? I say no. Now, unfortunately, to climb this, it's 1.5 miles at about 10%. Now, I'm not saying the entire thing is washed out, but on our Send It last month, we had a couple people that got a little lost, decided to go up that way, and couldn't believe how out of shape it was. I think if you are planning your route out and you want to go the opposite direction, I almost think it's easier to climb than to go downhill. I almost remember turning over some ankles, but yeah, you're gonna not be happy this part of the day. Well, from here, you'll find the checkpoint, and it's right near another cistern. Actually, this part of Yerba Buena truck trail is in pretty good condition, really pretty. You'll enjoy it, but not enough to forget about the really worst parts. The descent, like I said, I advise going back in. You do not want to hike back, but it's your choice on that part. Now, here's part of the decision making for the day. You hit the descent, and I believe the bottom part when you hit the gate, right near where the little punch mark is here, it gets a little choppy. So please be careful on the descent. You can kind of tell on the visuals here, it looks a little steep. Once you kind of hit this junction here, It eases off and it's really nice. You'll come over to the Doc Larson junction over here, but take note of it because I'll be explaining in a second more about all these connections. Now, the choice I have at the moment is going down Oro Vista and crossing Tujunga Wash to get back onto Big Tujunga. The big issue is that it's supposed to rain on Friday, meaning that's water. And the Tujunga Wash has already been kind of pretty vibrant because of previous rains and, filtering down from the mountains. So maybe the rains that are supposed to bring about a ½ inch on Friday might make this pretty wet. This is the reason why I'm going in this direction as well, because when you're climbing up Big Tujunga Canyon, you can actually see the Tujunga Wash off onto your left and see how much it's flowing. If it's as crazy as it was last month, yeah, I'm getting emotional over it. You may have to try and consider something else. So here are some of the other options you can choose in the neighborhood. As you see, right off the bat here, there's the E.B. Herrera truck trail. This was right off the junction here, and it seems like it's the shortest. The biggest problem here is I believe it's on private land. I know there's definitely a couple homes that are right along the way, and if there's a flock of riders going through there, I think they may be taking action. So I want to try and avoid it, but there are other options as well. You can also, there's a little hike up here, up Oliver Canyon. There's also options to go down to this neighborhood here, but remember over here, it's a private neighborhood. I'm trying not to piss the neighbors off. There are a couple other ways out onto Foothill Boulevard here, but like I said, that's a lot of adventuring, a lot of turns, and I can't quite promise you how that goes. If you do continue to go up Oliver Canyon, there is a B&L landline that kind of cuts you out down over here. You'll see it when you hit the cistern over here, or you continue down Oliver Canyon and it'll let you out onto Little Tujunga. Not like a lot of great options late in the game, but I think at this point you'll just do whatever to get over. If you want to cross the Tujunga Wash, it'll be pretty flowy, but that's the thing. I'd rather do it at the end rather than having to do the whole ride with wet feet. So a lot of choices to be made. And from here, yeah, it's all road. There's a 7-Eleven right before where you hit Foothill if you need to recharge or grab anything. But from there, it's pretty much downhill the whole way back. Yeah, and so my route is roughly around 50 miles. It doesn't sound like a lot, but with the potential snow up there, the rain, the washoutness, well, you're gonna be walking a lot. So bring a lot of layers and be prepared. Anyways, I hope this helps people. If you have any notes, please send them my way. You can always support Gravel Bike California by either subscribing or going to our shop or supporting us on Patreon so we can do videos like this to bring you more from the state of dirt.